All right, welcome to The Week in Geek. So this is our news show where you guys can feel free to weigh in and say things as they come to your mind down in the chat. We'll let this be a time of interactive stuff, and we should have a good time. The way we start, Twig, is with what have you played this past weekend? So normally this is on Monday, so I guess it'll just be in the last week. What have you watched? What have you played, and what have you read? So books that you've read, manga that you've read, audiobooks that you've read, any of that stuff counts. What have you played? What have you watched? What have you read? As far as me, I have watched Tilu and Trigun, like I already mentioned earlier. I've played Dragon Quest XI, although I honestly didn't get to play much this past weekend because of day for Nora, and so that was definitely a bit much. And then I started reading tomorrow, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm very much enjoying it. So those have been what I've watched, what I've played, what I've read. Trombone says I finished Tell Me Why. Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy it from beginning to end? I'm so glad that you're enjoying Don't Nod games. They've had a couple other games out there. I am a real pastor. Yes, I'm an ordained pastor in the United Methodist Church, and we're actually a church plant through the Western North Carolina Conference of the United Methodist Church. Yes. Let's see. Our news for today. The stuff going on some of you have probably already seen some of these headlines, but we'll go through them anyway. Sneaky says, I'm 47 hours into Hogwarts Legacy. Watch Tilu reading Way of the Kings by Brandon Sanderson. Very nice. Man, that's 47 hours into Hogwarts is very impressive. I'm like 22 hours into Dragon Quest XI, and it feels like it's all I can do to play through any more of that game. I don't know why. I can't log hours in games anymore. It's really tough. Past my 1,000 hours played in Subnautica over the weekend. Chats in the clap for Alendris. That's so many hours. That's so impressive. Trombone says, I loved it. I enjoyed figuring out and predicting the twists before they were revealed. Yep, that's a good one to do it with. Predicting 60, 70 hours to platinum the game, says Sneaky. And Wet Cam says, I think I am around 20 hours into Hogwarts. Yeah. And almost done with Chicory. Very nearly done with Chicory. I'm still not quite caught up. Still not quite caught up with Tilu, but I've definitely started getting there. Got the achievement on Board Game Arena for having 100 different turn-based tables. That's incredible. I need to get into I have a Board Game Arena account, but I just have never gotten into it. The first news story today is a minor one. Some of you may have seen that Nic Cage had an interview recently at the Miami Film Festival whenever he was accepting a reward, and talking about how he's not in the MCU, but that doesn't matter because he's Nic Cage. And I just think that's hilarious. I think that's the Nic Cagiest thing I've ever heard. It made me laugh, and so I wanted you guys to hear that because, you know, at this point it feels like everybody is in the MCU except for Nic Cage, and I'm personally a diehard Nic Cage fan, and that's a good time. Another small article that you should know about if you haven't. If you're excited about the upcoming Dungeons & Dragons movie that's happening, you may have seen that they actually released character sheets. So all of the main characters in the party from Dungeons & Dragons Honor Amongst Thieves, they actually did release their character sheets if you wanted to play as them. And I thought that was super neat. That was a cool thing to do. I don't know. I hope they don't go too hard into the commercialization of the thing, but I mean, let's be real, they're probably going to. So at the very least, I think it's a neat opportunity because how many movie promotionals release character sheets? I think that's neat. So you should check it out. Let's see. The last episode of Tilu was so good. Totally, I'm sure it will be. I'm excited to get into it. Started Uncharted 4. I am about 10 hours in, and I feel like I'm getting close to the end. Yeah, those games are relatively short. I live on Board Game Arena. I need to. I also started to read A Darker Shade of Magic, says H-Man. Rewatched Harry Potter movies 1 through 4 as well, the best, while playing Subnautica. Got you. It was so good. Excited and sad for the last episode this Sunday. Yeah, we're there. It's really crazy. Now I'm getting more frame of reference of what episode you're talking about, Wit, and I'm very curious to see how this one goes. A little nervous about actually getting into it, but I know that people are at least enjoying it and enjoying the story that it told. But I have a feeling it's going to be as brutal as episode 5 with Henry and Sam. Wasn't that episode 5? Or was that episode 6? I can't remember. But I think it's going to be as brutal, if not more brutal than that one, and that's really tough because that was a really rough episode for me. This isn't really a spoiler, but there was some excellent sound design in that episode with Henry and Sam. So if you haven't watched episode 5 of Tilu, you should because it's great. But there was a moment in the show, this is not a spoiler, there was a moment in the show where you go from an incredibly active action scene to right after it, where the calm is there, and the sound design there where they just cut the sound was amazing. It was amazing. I got chills. they're multiplying. Okay. Next news article. This is one that I think is interesting. Maybe it won't be so much for you, but you guys know that my favorite kind of games are games for impact, narrative games, visual novels, story-rich, lore-rich, meaning-rich. I like that kind of video game. And something interesting is going to be happening at the United Nations headquarters. They're going to be hosting their first ever video games event called the Games for Change Festival. And I think that sounds super interesting. So I don't know. That probably won't be something that I'll be able to go to. I'm not going to just drive up to New York for their first ever thing. But I think this is an excellent thing. Games for Change has been around for a while, but hosting it at the United Nations is a really interesting way of connecting these two events and showing that government leaders, people in power and authority are taking seriously video games and the impact that they can have is a huge step forward. So I'm super curious to see what happens and what comes out of that. And hopefully if they continue to focus on that and have their own legitimate festival, then we'll get more and more of those spread across the country and hopefully eventually near me. Another small piece of news that nobody's talking about, and I can't believe nobody's talking about it. But in all fairness, they did announce it with a super quiet announcement. So it's possible that maybe you slept on the announcement because it kind of slipped under the radar. Some of my favorite video games of my childhood are the Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi PS2 games. They were magical. They were magical. They were the best Dragon Ball Z games, in my opinion. I love Legacy of Goku and the Game Boy Advance games. You guys know that. But Budokai Tenkaichi was some of the best gaming ever. And they announced a new one. Budokai Tenkaichi 4 is coming out. After 16 years, it's getting a sequel. I'm so excited. I don't even know what it's going to be like. I don't know if it's going to be so like really self-contained. Like Dragon Ball Kakarot was an interesting experiment of an open world Dragon Ball Z game, but I want a self-contained fighting Dragon Ball game that doesn't feel like Fighter Z. I don't mind Fighter Z, but I want Budokai Tenkaichi. And so I am so excited for that to finally hit the airwaves. I haven't heard anything more about like when it's coming out or what it's going to look like or seeing any footage of it, but you have heard a lot of people. I can't find anybody talking about it. It makes me glad that you've heard people talking about it. I hope that more people talk about it. Hope we get a ton of news and that a lot of good stuff comes out because I want hype. I need the hype. I need it. It's all over my Facebook. Good. Please. I want more. Why is it not on my Facebook? I need it. Need it. Let's see. Starfield releases on September 6th, the day after my birthday. I really hope Starfield lives up to the hype. Yes, that is a huge piece of news, which we don't even have today. Mostly because all my friends grew up with OG games. Yeah, I definitely shared it. Not on my Facebook, but I shared it over on the Discord. And if I had any friends... No, that's not. That sounds more sad than it's supposed to. But yeah. It was definitely the game that my friends and I played growing up. And I'm super hyped about it. Really hope Starfield lives up to the hype. I could definitely see myself getting lost in that world. I'm going to play it for sure. I'm definitely going to be the one. I really enjoy all the stuff that Bethesda comes up with, so I'm hopeful for it. 2 major game awards happened in the past week, which is pretty crazy. The Anime Awards from Crunchyroll and the BAFTA Games Awards got announced as the nominees. So the results of one and the nominees of the other happened. So we'll start with what won at the Crunchyroll Game Awards this year, what took the cake, as it were, on all of the different areas for the past season of anime. And we'll start at the bottom and try and work our way up through the awards. Best VA performance. I'm not going to go through all of the dubs. We'll just go with probably just Japanese and English, since I don't know if we have anyone of any other descents in here. But if you are in the chat and you speak a different language other than English or Japanese, or you watch something other than the dub or the sub, then let me know and we'll read off the winner for that one as well. Best VA performance for English was Zach Aguilar from Cyberpunk Edgerunners. And the best vocal performance for the Japanese sub was Yuji Kaji from Attack on Titan, which I'm guessing is probably Aaron. I don't know. We'll find out. The best romance anime of last year was Kaguya-sama Love is War, which of course it was. I mean, it's really kind of the only one. It makes me a little sad that it wasn't Dress Up Darling, but you know, I'll take what I can get. Best fantasy of last year was Demon Slayer. The best drama of last year was Attack on Titan Final Season Part 2. The best comedy was Spy X Family. I don't agree, but that's fine. I like Spy X Family enough. I like it enough, but Spy Family is not my favorite. Best Action, Demon Slayer. Must protect at all costs character, of course, is Anya. Now that one I can get behind from Spy Family. Best supporting character being Anya. I can get behind that one as well. Best main character is Eren from Attack on Titan. Best director is Haruya Sudozaki from Demon Slayer, which I think that makes total sense because that is a, whether I like Demon Slayer or not, it is an immaculately directed show. Best anime song is The Rumbling, the OP from Attack on Titan. Best film was Jujutsu Kaisen 0, hardcore agree. The best score was from Attack on Titan by Kota Yamamoto and Hiroyuki Sowa. It goes on to the next screen. Best ending sequence, the best ending OP is Spy Family. Best opening sequence is The Rumbling again. I disagree about the film. You didn't enjoy Jujutsu Kaisen 0? Now, I don't know what film it would have been instead. I don't really keep my finger on the pulse. Oh, you thought it was mid? Well, I enjoyed this. Did Bell come out last year or was that the year before? If Bell came out last year, then it definitely should have won. Best continuing series is One Piece. Okay. Best new series is Spy Family. Best animation is Demon Slayer. Best character design is a Demon Slayer, Akira Matsushima. And best original anime is Licorice Recoil. That should have won more awards. The fact that Licorice only won one award enrages me. Licorice was so good. Anime of the year took everybody by surprise. I did not think there was a chance in this world that this anime was going to be winning Anime of the Year. This is the main reason why I'm talking about it here today, is because the Anime of the Year for 2022 was Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Amazing. Amazing. I can't believe it. I can't believe that it won. I would have never expected it to win, but here we are. It did. It took the cake. It won the awards. I'm so proud of it. I enjoyed it so much. It was definitely one of my favorite anime of last year, and the fact that it's like, I can't believe that Cyberpunk had such a total 180 in their fan base and in their player base and in everything. They deserve it. I loved the game pretty much from the beginning, and I loved this story and the way that it was told. I love the character design. I love Studio Trigger. You really can't go wrong. Excellent. Cyberpunk has the best soundtrack too. Ooh, hardcore agree. I can't believe that didn't place higher. Yeah. It's tough for me to even remember what came out last year. That's probably let's see. I love the manga, but the movie just didn't do it. Plus, Yuta isn't going to be in the show for like 3 more arcs. They released it way too early. You're probably right. You're probably right. I genuinely don't know what movies came out last year. Let's see. BAFTA. The BAFTA awards have been announced, their nominations. So let's see what was nominated. I'm sure in the next couple weeks. March 30th. Okay. So we'll probably be reading these in a couple weeks. We'll probably be reading these in a couple weeks. But these are the nominees. Most of them are not going to surprise you, but some of them might. We'll start from the bottom like we usually do. BAFTA 2023 nominees for EE Game of the Year. What is EE? I don't even know what EE is. BAFTA nominations are stacked with talent. So many tough choices in the categories. I really want to stay at Your House to win Song of the Year, but technically it was an original song from the game first, so I don't think it counted. That makes sense. Yeah, I could look at the nominations, but I'm not sure either. BAFTA 23 nominees for EE Game of the Year. Still don't know what that means, but we're gonna read them anyway. Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Immortality, Marvel Snap, and Stray. Technical achievement: Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Immortality, The Last of Us Part 1, and Stray. I still don't know what EE means, so we're just gonna do technical achievement. As far as I think technical achievement, none of them. Probably Stray. I don't think any of them did anything that every other gamer is not doing. Nominees for performer in a supporting role. You have Sindri, Adam J. Harrington, Alva, Allison J., The One, Charlotta Molan, Freya, Danielle Basutti, Hayes as Angrboda. Oh, Laia Delian Hayes as Angrboda, Ryan Hurst as Thor. For best supporting, I thought The One and Immortality actually did a really good job, but I have a feeling Sindri's gonna take it, maybe Thor. You think Freya? I would like to see Freya. I guess Freya was in it more. Sindri had the heartstrings, and Thor was like, people had been waiting for Thor so long. You should play Immortality, Cam. It's good. It's a good game. Real twisted. If you ever played a Sam Barlow, it's very typical Sam Barlow, but I think probably his like magnum opus. Definitely be prepared for some awkward scenes. There's very much nudity in it that is uncomfortable, and there's some really dark storytelling, and there is one moment the first time it happens that literally gave me chills. So there you go. Nominees for performance in a leading role. You have Alejandra Vargas, Elaine Meza, Amicia, Charlotte McBurney, Kratos, Christopher Judge, Marissa Marcel, Manning Gage, Lara, Shoban Williams, Atreus, Sunny Suljic. Not a stream game. That would be a mistake. That would be a mistake to make. I don't know if they have like a streamer category that they would remove that scene, but there were a lot of them. Not that many. It's not gross. It's very much like you're watching films. So it's 3 films, right? And so it's there for a reason. It's not superfluous. It's not gross. It's there. Okay. BAFTA nominees for, who's going to win that one in my opinion? I really hope it's not Christopher Judge again. I would actually really like to see Sunny win just because I think support an up-and-coming artist would be really nice. Yeah, I don't know. For Sneaky's sake, I would love to see, Charlotte McBurney win. I was just about to say that. That's really funny. It probably will be Christopher Judge, but again, I don't think he deserves it. I don't know. He's great. He's great, but he always wins. Nominees for original property: Citizen Sleeper, Cult of the Lamb, Elden Ring, Sifu, Stray, and Vampire Survivors. You guys probably know my thoughts, but it's got to be Citizen Sleeper, and if it isn't, then they're wrong. Nominees for narrative: Plague Tale, Citizen Sleeper, God of War, Immortality, Pentiment, or Stray. I could go between either Citizen Sleeper or Pentiment. Honestly, I might go with Pentiment. Pentiment kind of deserves it. I would personally vote for Citizen Sleeper. If Stray wins, we riot, okay? If Stray wins, we absolutely lose our minds. Nominees for music: A Plague Tale, Requiem, Cuphead, Elden Ring, God of War, Ragnarok, Stray, or Tunic. I didn't really like the music from any of those. Probably Ragnarok, because wasn't it Bear, right? Plague Tale needs to win? Okay. I don't know. I have no ideas there. I didn't really play Cuphead this year. That's a weird thing to do DLC winning. Elden Ring music was atmospheric at best. Stray music was atmospheric at best. Tunic music was atmospheric at best. Nominees for multiplayer: Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, EA Sports, FIFA 23, Elden Ring, Overwatch 2, Splatoon 3, TMNT. I'd like to see TMNT win. I don't think it will. It'll probably end up being COD. Elden Ring is a really funny choice there. I would not consider Elden Ring a multiplayer game. Nominees for game design: Cult of the Lamb, Elden Ring, God of War, Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Tunic, or Vampire Survivors. Oh my gosh, if Vampire Survivors wins for game design, that is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I'm going to say probably it's going to end up being God of War. Yeah, it's probably going to end up being God of War. Plague Tale music enhances the game so much. Yeah, it enhances the drama, as I understand that game. Nominees for Game Beyond Entertainment: that's kind of their games for impact, which I actually haven't played several of these, so I'm going to add them to my list. Citizen Sleeper, Endling, Extinctionist Forever, Gibbon, Beyond the Trees, I Was a Teenage Exocolonist, which I still need to finish, Not for Broadcast, and Will Always Have Paris. I am opening the other ones that I haven't played. What is Not for Broadcast? What is Will Always Have Paris? I definitely remember Gibbon. Anyway, it's Citizen Sleeper, and if it's not, then they're wrong. Nominees for Family Game: Disney Dreamlight Valley, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga, Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Nintendo Switch Sports, TMNT Shredder's Revenge. Probably Kirby. Nominees for Evolving Game: Apex Legends Dreams. I cannot believe Dreams is still on a category list for 2023. The Elder Scrolls Online, Final Fantasy 16, 14 Online. Forza Horizon 5, No Man's Sky. I always root for No Man's Sky for this one because I think it's so impressive what they've done. Nominees for Debut Game: As Dusk Falls, The Case of the Golden Idol is on this! Somebody knows! Somebody knows about The Case of the Golden Idol. Dude, if it doesn't win, they're wrong. If that game doesn't win, they're absolutely wrong. Stray, Trombone Champ, Tunic, and Vampire Survivors. I could see Stray probably taking this one. It'll be the funniest thing in the world if Trombone Champ wins. Case of the Golden Idol didn't have enough people play it, but it deserves it more than all the others. Vampire Survivors would not surprise me because it had such a huge player base. Nominees for British Game, which of course this is the BAFTAs: Citizen Sleeper, Ollie World, Roller Dome, Total War, Warhammer 3, and Vampire Survivors. Didn't know Vampire Survivors was a British game. Citizen Sleeper deserves it again. Won't win it, but deserves it. Probably be Ollie World or Vampire Survivors. Nominees for Audio Achievement: A Plague Tale, Requiem, God of War, Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Metal Hellsinger, Stray, and Tunic. For H-Man, I hope it's Metal Hellsinger, but odds are it'll probably be A Plague Tale or Ragnarok. Nominees for Artistic Achievement: A Plague Tale, Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War, Ragnarok, Immortality, Pentiment, and Tunic. I sure hope it's Pentiment, but it definitely won't be. It'll probably be Elden Ring, maybe God of War. Nominees for Animation: COD, Modern Warfare 2, God of War, Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, Sifu, and Stray. Sifu's super inspired. I would love to see it win, but I don't think it's going to. It'll probably be God of War. Nominees for Best Game. This is the final category, the best game of 2023. BAFTAs: is Cult of the Lamb, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Marvel Snap, Stray, or Vampire Survivors. Dudes, I'm seriously so tired. I'm so ready to be out of a year where Stray exists because I'm so tired of seeing Stray on all the nominees list. It was an okay game at best, dudes. It was a 6 or a 7 at best. It does not deserve to be placed up so high next to every other game, every other time. It was a fine game. It infuriates me. I'm so tired of seeing that game. Best game, it might be Elden Ring. It's definitely going to be either Elden Ring or Ragnarok. I could see it going either way. I enjoyed Stray a lot, but I'm shocked it showed up on so many lists. It was a game. It was a game. I played the entire thing, and it was a game. But, like, it didn't blow my mind. It wasn't the most impressive thing I've ever done. It was fun to play as a cat, but it was a game. It was just a game. I'll never understand. I'll never understand why that game has done so well. But let's see. I got to look up these games real fast. We'll Always Have Paris is a wholesome adventure that explores the lived experience of memory lost and the beauty of a love that lasts 2 lifetimes. Not for broadcast is a full motion propaganda sim. That sounds super cool. And Given Beyond the Trees, I remember this one, but I don't know why it never ended on my list. We'll add that one for sure. Okay, so that has been all of the headlines for this one. That took a long time, but a lot of award shows and things like that take time to talk about. Next up, our segment of the show is To the Discord, things that are happening on the Discord submitted news. The only thing we had this week was from our own Stained Glass, who did put in an article that somebody tossed at least $100,000 worth of Magic the Gathering cards into a landfill, which is super interesting to see. People that actually like took the time to, I saw some of the ones were even like sealed or still in like their wrap or things like that. And pretty depressing to see all of this. Obviously, it'd be a little bit more of a gut punch to me if it were Pokemon cards, but it's still pretty insane. Pretty insane. Imagine a year where we have 4 to 5 masterpieces like Elden Ring and God of War. All the award shows will be a lot harder to predict, right? Totally. And then imagine Stray ends up on all the nominations lists alongside God of War, Elden Ring, Horizon, and what was the other one? Plague Tale. Crazy. Because the internet was founded on cats and cats will rule everything. It started with I Can Have Cheeseburger and will continue since then. I mean, I like it. I liked being a cat. I liked being a cat. But that was like the extent of it. It's so silly. All right, our next segment of the show. At this point, oh wait, hang on. We need our epic announcer guy. Hang on.
At this point in history.
This is the segment of the show where we talk about what games or movies or TV shows or any of the following came out today in nerd history, March 9th of any of the past. Some random games to throw in there. Supraland, if you played that game, it was kind of fun. Came out in 2018. Super Smash Bros. Brawl came out in 2008, believe it or not, which is crazy. I love that game. Love Super Smash. Brawl was one of the best of them, in my opinion. I really liked the story mode. Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes came out in 2004. Super Mario RPG hit the television screens in Japan of 1996. Today, and Mastermind, the classic Mastermind video game on the Altair 8000, launched today in 1976, which is just mind-boggling to me. Movies that hit on this day in history are 300, the classic 300 movie hit in 2007 today, and the original Children of the Corn, which they actually just aired a remake of last week, was in 1984, which is just crazy. All of the history that has come out and all of the fun things that we have to look back on. I find it interesting. The remake has a 7%. I mean, I wasn't going to see it. I didn't enjoy the original Children of the Corn. It didn't do anything for me. So that's really funny though. 7% is so bad. I don't even know, like 7% is it bad enough to go see, or is it like, don't even go see, it's so bad. It's not even funny. Might be up for a Razzie. I guarantee it was 7%. Okay, that has been
At this point in nerd history.
Damn. With that, we move on to our next segment of the show, and actually our final, because I forgot to get a meme of the week this time. Oopsie doopsie. Our final is the upcoming releases for this week. There's quite a few things coming out this week that I think are pretty interesting, so we're going to look through those. First off, today, they're actually releasing IB on the Nintendo Switch, which is a game that's been on my back burner for a while and will eventually happen. We might play it today. I doubt it because it's already 9:45, but IB is a RPG Maker horror game that I've been super interested in for a long time. If you've gotten your hands on the coveted PSVR 2, which I've actually heard is just okay, then you should buy Before Your Eyes, which comes out tomorrow. It's a great game. If you don't feel like buying it for yourself, then you should go watch our Let's Play of it. We have a full Let's Play over on our Checkpoint Church YouTube channel, and you should check that out. Also coming out tomorrow is Motto Anomalies, which is a cool-looking turn-based RPG that comes out tomorrow on Steam, PS5, Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Windows, Series X, all the stuff. It's all over the place, made in Unity. Looks like a fun and interesting game. I like the art style. Mile High Taxi comes out on the 13th. You may be saying, what in the world is that? And so did I. But it looks like Crazy Taxi, except you're in space. Well, you're like in like a Star Wars-esque, like Star Wars 2 Attack of the Clones flying city. And so you drop people off and they're like miles above their landing spot. It looks interesting. Looks like a good romp. Quick romp. Rough Justice 84 also comes out on the 13th. If you played the game, what was it called? Hang on, I gotta look it up. No, none of those. This is the Police. If you played the game, This is the Police or This is the Police 2, it looks like that, but set in 1984. Even a similar art style, something you might consider doing. Delete After Reading comes out on the 14th. That is described as the book you can play or the game you can read. That's all I know about it, and honestly, I kind of low-key plan on playing it because it looks real interesting. Escape from the Red Planet comes out on the 14th. Looks like a kind of management sim. The Wreck comes out on the 14th. I'm very interested in this one. Trombone, you might be interested in this one as well, but this is a very similar decision-making, trauma-based, visual novel-esque, don't nod style where you are playing as one, I believe it's one of two sisters that have survived a wreck and are dealing with the trauma from that. Let's look, hang on. No, that's not it. Escape from the Red Planet, you say? You might also enjoy that one because you do like management sims, I think. But no, I was referring to The Wreck, which I'm going to go find again. Well, I might. There it is. Mature 3D visual novel about sisterhood, motherhood, grief, and survival. Follow failed screenwriter Junon as she attempts to make it through the most pivotal day in her life. Relive the past, alter the present, embrace the future, or without your help, Junon's story might end in a wreck. Ooh, so it's actually before the wreck. Looks like a interesting story-based, decision-making style game. That's just kind of my steez, so if you're into that kind of thing as well, might be interesting. Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight fans, if you are out there and you enjoy those kind of games, Dead by Daylight Mobile is launching on the 15th. So if you want to take your horror gaming to mobile gaming, then that should be for you. I don't know how it's going to be different than that like V game, 5V or whatever it was called, but maybe it'll be different enough because it's Dead by Daylight. And then Flooded is coming out. This one I thought was interesting. It doesn't look like a game that I'll play for very long, but again, if you like management games, this is a reverse management game. So you start with the full island and you build up your resource management, but flooding is happening, and so you're going to continually have less space for your resources that you're creating. I don't know if that means you have to build up or what it means because I haven't played it yet, but sounds like an interesting concept and premise, and if it's cheap enough, sounds like a fun little puzzle game. So Flooded comes out on the 15th. Movies are all hitting on the exact same day, which is tomorrow. 65, which is the latest Adam flick that's coming out there. A very strange looking movie if you haven't seen it. It kind of looks like Adam Driver is aboard a colony spaceship that crash lands and only one little girl survives. And so it's him and this little girl, and they have crash landed back in time to a dinosaur planet. So to 65 something. I think it's 65,000 or something. I can't remember what they said, but it's 65. It does look like Turok the movie, but if you like Adam Driver, then I'm sure that's going to be interesting. I don't know if it looked good necessarily, but it definitely looked like it was a movie that was happening. Champions is a movie coming out with, what's his name? Not Willie. Not Willie. Willie's not his name. Woody Harrelson. Woody Harrelson is a minor league basketball coach who does bad things and winds up getting sentenced to community service and is forced to coach a Special Olympics team instead. Looks inspirational. hopefully. Typically, things that are involving Special Olympics end up being inspirational, unless we're talking about that one movie with, what's his name? I guess that movie was inspirational in the end. Yeah. Anyway, Scream 6 also comes out on the 10th. Curious about that one. I personally enjoy the Scream franchise. I haven't really gotten into the reboot ever since they started doing that stuff. Isn't this the one with Jenna Ortega too? So that should be interesting since she's kind of popping off right now. See how that one goes. I enjoy the Scream franchise and I'm sure it'll be good enough. Oh, it's getting a 9. It's getting a 9. That's very exciting. Very, very exciting to be that high up on the roster. So might end up might end up seeing Scream 6. We'll see. Has some really good reception. Yeah, I'm happy with a 9. And then probably significantly less, but if you like Morgan Freeman, he actually has a straight-to-TV thriller coming out called The Ritual Killer, also on the 10th. So those are 4 movies that you might consider watching. No TV shows dropping other than regular serialized content, but those are your upcoming releases for the week. So let us know what you plan on playing or watching or things that you plan on doing, and we will see you back again with more Twig next Thursday live on our stream. Sometimes this show is going to be hosted by not just me, but also by our level 2. Hopefully we'll see that happen more in the future. If you want to submit your content, you can do that either on the Discord or you can do exclamation point twig. Yes, you can do exclamation point twig here on this chat, or you can go to bit.ly/dear twig, DEAR twig, bit.ly/dear twig, and you can submit your news there, and it might be featured on next week's show. Okay, with that has been Twig for the week, and we are glad that you're here. Hope that you're enjoying this content. If you're watching right now on Twitch, say hi YouTube, because this will be posted on YouTube later. If you're watching now on YouTube, let us know what excited you most during this episode. Did you really like the news? Was there one news piece that stood out to you that you want to talk about down in the comment section down below? Or do you want to talk about maybe one of the things that blew your mind about this day in nerd history? Or do you want to talk about something that you're planning on playing or watching from this list of things coming out in the next week? We would love to hear from you there. With that, we're going to wrap up this show as we always do with our 3 things that we do true about every single one of you out there. Number 1, that the God loves you, like really, really loves you. Number 2, we love you. We want community with you. That's what we're doing here at Checkpoint Church. Number 3, that you, yes, you matter. You are a person of sacred worth. The world is a better place. Why? Because you are in it. Folks, with that, and until the next time that I see ya, bye-bye.